It's a spring morning, around 100 AD. A boy in the Sabura is being shaken awake in the dark, and his mother is already tying a leather cord around his neck. That boy is you, and your name is Marcus. The cord your mother, Julia, ties on holds your bulla, a round locket that every freeborn Roman boy wears from birth. It's meant to be a charm, protecting you from evil until you grow up. You've slept on a straw-stuffed mat on the floor because this is an upper-floor flat in a crowded block, and there's no kitchen here and no running water at all. You pull on a plain off-white wool tunic, and over it you drape your toga, the one edged with a purple-red stripe that marks you as a free-born boy still under 16. You go barefoot, or in simple leather sandals, and either way you learn quickly to watch your feet, because the streets of the Sabura are mud, stone, and waste. Breakfast is barely a meal at all. It's a piece of bread, maybe rubbed with a little garlic or dipped in wine, and you eat it standing up in the half-dark. There's no bathroom in the flat, so you use a chamber pot in the corner, and the family's waste gets tipped out or carried all the way down to the street below. You leave before the sun is even up, because school starts at first light. Romans begin the working day at dawn, and that includes you, Marcus. You don't walk alone. A household slave called a pedagogus, an educated Greek man, walks you to school, carrying your things and keeping a sharp eye on how you behave. The things he carries are a wax tablet, thin wooden boards coated in beeswax, and a stylus, pointed at one end to write and flat at the other to rub out your mistakes. The street is already loud. The bakers' fires are lit, carts that were banned during daylight rumble home in the last of the dark, and shopkeepers heave open their shutters. Your school isn't a building, it's a booth off the street, screened only by a curtain, so all the noise of Rome pours straight in on you the whole day. You share your teacher with the children of shopkeepers and freed slaves. At this first stage of school, poor boys and girls sit together on the same benches. Your teacher earns almost nothing and is looked down on by everyone. The poet Martial grumbles that schoolmasters like yours wake the whole neighborhood at dawn with their shouting. Discipline here is the cane. Boys are struck across the hand or the back with a rod or a leather strap when they get things wrong, and everyone simply accepts it. You sit on a backless wooden bench with no desk in front of you, so you balance the wax tablet on your knees and write like that all morning. You learn your letters by rote. You chant the alphabet out loud, forwards, then backwards, then in pairs, over and over, until the sounds are worn into you. Then you trace letters your teacher has already carved into the wax, running your stylus along the grooves again and again until your hand just knows the shapes. After that, you copy out lines of short moral sayings, little proverbs chosen to teach you handwriting and good behavior both at the same time. There's no paper anywhere. When your tablet fills up, you smooth the wax flat again with the blunt end of your stylus and start the whole thing over. Reading is always done aloud, all of you together, and the words on the page run on with no gaps between them, so you must learn to hear where each one ends. Arithmetic you do on your fingers and on a small counting board, sliding little pebbles along grooves. This is the Roman abacus, and it does your adding for you. You need it because Roman numerals are clumsy for adding up, so nearly every everyday sum gets worked on the pebbles rather than written down at all. By late morning, the sun is high overhead, and the thin curtain does almost nothing against the heat, the dust, and the shouting drifting in off the street. Then comes the midday break.
Lessons stop and you're let out for a light meal, prandium, maybe bread, cheese, a few olives, or whatever's left from the day before. You bolt your food and run off to play. Your favorite is knucklebones, small bones thrown and scored a bit like dice, and games where nuts are rolled and stacked and bet on. Other favorites are trundling a hoop along with a stick, whipping a spinning top down the paving, and guessing odds or evens with coins hidden in a fist. Wealthier boys have a jointed toy horse or a little wooden chariot, but you've got a rag or clay doll and nuts, which serve as both your toys and your stakes.
Even at play, you keep watch for real dangers. Gaping open shop fronts, the sudden slop of an emptied chamber pot from above, and carts squeezing through the narrow lanes. Back at the booth, the whole afternoon is more copying and reciting, and in the heat the day drags on while your writing hand aches around the hard stylus. You spend it memorizing long passages by heart, because Romans prize a well-trained memory in a boy above almost any other skill. If you fidget or forget your lines, the cane comes out again. A boy might even be hoisted up across another boy's shoulders to be beaten on the back. School ends in the mid to late afternoon. There's no long day here because Romans stop work while the daylight is still good and strong. The pedagogus walks you home once more, and along the way he reminds you that tonight you're expected to repeat everything you learned to your father. On the way home you might stop at the public baths, because in Rome, children as well as grown men and women wash, and the daily bath is at the heart of everyone's life. Back at the flat, the main meal of the day, the cena, is served in the late afternoon. It's the one proper sit-down meal you'll get. For a family like yours, it's plain food, porridge or bread, some vegetables and beans, cheese and olives, maybe a little fish or pork, and wine cut with water. The adults lie back on a couch to eat, but you're a child, so you sit on a stool at the foot of the couch instead of reclining with them. Then your father tests you. You stand there and recite the lines you copied and the sums you worked at the booth today, one after another. The water for all this is fetched by the bucket from a public fountain down in the street, because your flat up here has no plumbing of its own. As the light fails, there's not much left to do. Oil lamps are dim, smoky, and expensive, so a household like yours simply winds down and goes to sleep early. You'll keep wearing this bulla and the purple striped toga only until you're about 16. Then both get put away, and you take up the plain white toga of a grown man. Before bed, you smooth the wax on your tablet clean and flat once more, ready for tomorrow's lessons at dawn, and you set it down by the chest. You lie back down on the same straw mat in the dark, the bulla still at your throat, your writing hand cramped and stained with ink, oil smoke and the smell of the street drifting up through the shutters as you fall asleep.
If you made it this far, hit like and follow. A new story every week.